Have you ever been told that you are too small, too weak, or too poor to achieve something great? Well, listen carefully, because this story will break every lie you've ever believed about yourself. Stay with me till the end, because what happens to this boy, nobody saw coming. In a small village, far away from the big cities, lived a boy named Covey. He had no shoes, no proper clothes, and sometimes no food to eat. But he had one thing that no one could take away from him, a fire in his heart. Covey's dream was simple. He wanted to go to school, learn, and one day, change his family's life. But his father would say, dreams don't fill empty stomachs. So every morning, instead of holding books, Covey carried firewood to sell in the market. People laughed at him. They said, "How can a boy who doesn't even have sandals talk about becoming successful? Look at you, Covey, you're meant to stay poor forever." Their words were sharp, but his spirit was sharper. Covey couldn't afford school. But every night, he would sneak near a classroom window and listen to the teacher's lessons. He wrote on the sand with sticks, learning letters and numbers under the moonlight. One day, a rich man's son mocked him. "You think you're smart? Try solving this problem." The boy gave him a math question, laughing. Everyone expected Covey to fail. But to everyone's shock, Covey solved it faster than the rich boy. The village teacher, who had been quietly watching, approached Covey. He said, "Your hunger for knowledge is greater than anyone I've seen. Come tomorrow. I will teach you, for free." For the first time, Covey felt hope burning brighter than hunger. But hope alone was not enough. Covey now worked twice as hard, selling firewood by day, studying by night. Sometimes, he fell asleep on the floor with books open. His hands were blistered, his body tired, but his spirit? Unshaken. Years passed. A citywide competition was announced, a chance for poor students to win a scholarship. Covey entered, but the villagers laughed. "You? Compete with city children who have tutors and computers? Impossible." But Covey whispered to himself, "Impossible is just a word." In the crowded hall, hundreds of students sat with pens and paper. Covey's heart pounded. The questions were tough. Sweat rolled down his face. At one point, he almost gave up. But then, he remembered his father's tired eyes, his mother's sacrifices, and his dream to lift them from poverty. With shaky hands, he wrote, and he didn't stop. When the results were announced, everyone held their breath. Covey didn't win first place. He didn't win second place. In fact, his name wasn't called at all. People laughed again. "We told you, dreams are useless." Covey walked home with tears falling like rain. That night, Covey almost quit. He sat by the river, staring at the water, whispering, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm meant to stay nothing." But then, a thought struck him, "If I give up now, I will prove him right. But if I keep going, maybe, just maybe, I can prove him wrong." He stood up, stronger than ever. While everyone mocked, Covey kept studying. He borrowed old books, asked endless questions, and practiced every single day. No one saw it, but Covey was sharpening his sword in silence. 2 years later, another opportunity came, a national exam, one that could open doors to the best schools. This time, no one believed in Covey. Even his father shook his head. but Covey believed in himself. The exam hall was filled with the brightest students in the country. Covey sat there with nothing but determination. He wrote with the same fire he had when solving sums in the sand years ago. Days later, the results arrived. The top scorer was a name nobody expected. It was not the rich man's son. It was not the city kids with tutors. It was Covey, the boy who once studied in the dirt. The boy everyone laughed at. The boy who refused to give up. From that day, Covey's life changed. He got a scholarship, studied in the best school, and step by step, climbed higher. But what made him truly different was not his success, it was his heart. He never forgot where he came from. Years later, Covey returned to his village. But this time, he was not the boy selling firewood. He was a man of knowledge, strength, and confidence. The same villagers who mocked him now welcomed him with pride. And the best part? Covey opened a free school for every poor child who had a dream like his. Covey stood before the children and said, "I was once like you, hungry, barefoot, and laughed at. But I learned something powerful. It does not matter where you start. What matters is that you don't stop." His words lit a fire in their young hearts. So, what about you? Maybe life has beaten you down. Maybe people laugh at your dreams. Maybe you feel like giving up. But remember this, Covey's story is not just his, it can be yours too. Because the truth is simple, the one who refuses to give up is the one who changes everything.